Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. Besides your bell ringer, I'm Andy Fisher and will be your worship associate this morning. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering this community, we are grateful to share this time with you this morning. We seek the truth, we strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking the truth and love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us that in every moment and through every challenge, that each of us is worthy of love and that we are connected through the vast and worthy web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to living our shared values. Welcome to those joining us online. We hope that you have your chalices ready. People of all ages are welcome to and an important part of our faith community. We are blessed to have the children in the sanctuary for the first half of every service, and in the entire service about once a month. The nest in the front is designated area for families with young children, where we have quiet and fidget toys and activities and a kid-friendly order of service. Nursery care is available every Sunday in room 11 on the lower level, and you can easily get to it with the stairs in the back of the sanctuary. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on the screen that will help orient you to UCE and our services. We have a few announcements. If you haven't joined us yet for a Thursday evening Beacons of Light gathering from 7 to 7:30 p.m., please make plans to join us this week. The Real team will be making posters this Thursday, August 21st, from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. when walking together over the corner of Dempster and Ridge for our 7 o'clock p.m. gathering. Come join us this Thursday or any Thursday through October. Also this week, volunteers will be changing the light bulbs in the sanctuary. If you haven't signed up to volunteer and would like to, please see Adam or Reverend Susan after the service. We need folks to climb the scaffolding or be spotters. After the worship service today, we need you to help move all the chairs, including those chairs in the choir loft, to the sides of the sanctuary. There will be more instructions at the end of the service. Anyone interested in learning about volunteering in our Earth Formation program for children and youth can join in our meet and greet this Saturday, August 23rd, from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Childcare and bagels will be provided. Please join us after the service next Sunday for an in-person town hall on artificial intelligence. This is a chance for you to express your curiosities, concerns, questions, or anything else in your heart and mind. What you share will help us shape the upcoming series on AI workshops. If you can't make it next Sunday, there will also be a Zoom town hall on Wednesday, September 3rd. You can find the sign-up link in our weekly newsletter. Next week, August 24th, right after church, 12:15 to 1:15, there will be a community singing chorus at UCE in room 3, sponsored by the music program. It will be led by Megan Eberhardt, a town leader in the Old Town School of Music. Come experience the simple joy of singing together. This is a free event and is a free offering. All are welcome, including children accompanied by adults. Any questions, ask Ellie Fedderson. The annual service of remembrance will be held on Sunday, August 31st at 9 a.m. on the South Lawn. We will read aloud the names of those we've lost in the last 12 months, and anyone who wishes to honor the memory of a loved one, regardless of when they died, is invited to attend. And now, let us settle in together, gather our attention, and share this time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, let's quiet our electronics and our bodies as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship. Thanks, Dale and Gregory. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on the traditional homelands of the Ojibwe, Ottawa and Potawatomi nations. Once used by nomadic tribes who shared the Algonquin culture and language. By 1760, Potawatomi villages populated this land. After decades of violent encroachment by the French, British, and the U.S. American white settlers, the Potawatomi community were forcefully removed west of the Mississippi River. We also remember the networks of Black people, African Americans, and ancestors who built up our country's culture and economy, originally through forced enslavement and uncompensated labor. We acknowledge the impacts of the intentional violence of enslavement, theft of labor, and the exploitation which echo through the generations and remain a reality today. We offer these acknowledgments as one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to incorporate these admissions into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for all our ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for this land we use as sacred space. As we light our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying these words on the screen. May this flame, symbol of transformation since time began, fire our curiosity, strengthen our wills, and sustain our courage as we seek what is good within and around us. Please rise in body or spirit and join saying the words of our sacred covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Before we sing our opening hymn, I invite those joining us online to greet each other in the chat. And to those gathered in the sanctuary, turn to one another briefly to say good morning, trying to greet someone who is new to you.
Please stay after the service and continue your conversations. And if you're new to UCE, please stop by the welcome table with the red tablecloth in the back, just underneath the large mural. And there'll be somebody there from our membership committee to welcome you and to answer your questions. Let's keep creating new relationships and building kinship time among us. We will be having kinship time outside on the lawn so that we can be mask-free today. Our hymn is number 297, The Star of Truth. It's a little bit less of a familiar hymn to us, but it's lovely. Gregory's going to play through the melody all the way through, and then we'll come together and sing all 4 verses. please be seated. Please send it to me or Reverend Susan, whoever's leading the service that Sunday. You can fill out the form on the homepage of our website, or you can write it in this book, which is found just as you enter the sanctuary. As we listen to these, we try to quiet our minds and our bodies and our voices as best we can by taking in together a deep breath. So let's do that now. And let it out. I know for some of us that might be the only long breath we take during the week, so we try to savor it. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared today. A joy from Sean and Susan Talmadge, happy that Calvin Talmadge will be going back to U of I for sophomore year in his own apartment. Also very happy that Logan Talmadge is engaged to his love, Hannah Pryor, with wedding set for next year, September 12th. Very exciting. And Diane Markle writes, I want to share my joy and gratitude of being with this beloved community today as I have visited many of you this week. My annual trek now from St. Paul to Evanston. So good to be with you and so good to see you, Diane. There you are. And a joy from Maggie Wilson. Many UCers contributed school supplies and backpacks for the Haitian community back to school celebration. Several people helped assemble the bags yesterday. Thank you. The Haitian community organization is very grateful to us. They hope you, all of us, will come celebrate with them next Saturday in Herbert Payne Park in Evanston. And one final joy mixed with sorrow, but from KT DiGiovanni, though it is brutal to take time away from my kids, I'm so grateful, they write, to be in residential rehab at the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage, California. It's been a long time coming, and I am forever indebted to my husband Dominic for supporting this decision with love and gusto. I can't wait to come back to UCE, a better mom, partner, and friend. And KT, we're with you and supporting you. Sharing these concerns of the heart is part of the practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and we lessen the burden of our grief. You're invited to come forward and light a candle or drop a stone into the well of tears at one of the 3 stations, either this one in the front or on either of the sides, whichever is closest to you. And as we do with love, when you light candles, please start from the center and move out to the edges. Please come forward now, and if you'd like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. For these joys, we give our thanks. For these sorrows, we give our love. Please join me in the spirit of this prayer, Letting Go of Certainty by Reverend Rebecca C. Beckett Coppola. Let go of the idea that you know what breathing should feel like. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Let go of certainty. Be with the breath as it is. Allow openness. Allow curiosity. Notice the mind. Each thought that arises, allow openness. Don't judge your mind or your experience. Be loving in your curiosity about each thought. Let go of any idea about what you should be thinking, accepting your thoughts exactly as they are. Be with yourself as you are. Be curious about who you are. Love how you are in the world. Gently take a deep breath, maybe even a big sigh, and re-enter the present moment and the stream of your life. As we sing our response, number 413, Go Now in Peace, our young people are invited to head to room 3 for artsy fun with their adult leaders.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared by the Brave Space Alliance, an LGBTQ+ focused center on Chicago's South Side that welcomes and serves all who come through our doors. The Alliance was formed in 2017 to fill the significant gap in advocacy, programs, and services that center and are led by trans and gender expansive people. You may text to give, mail in a check, or put cash in the collection bowls, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or some other giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy.
Thank you for your generosity, and thank you, Dale, our guest musician, and as always, Gregory, for your excellent musical accompaniment. Our reading is In Praise of Not Knowing by Andrea Gibson. It was written by the famed poet in July of 2024, almost exactly a year before they died of ovarian cancer. Do you remember how our childhood joy was born from all we did not know, the answers we did not yet have, how exploration was the source of our excitement? As a kid, curiosity was my life's blood. I glowed with it. Are there colors on other planets that don't exist on Earth? If I touched a cloud, will it be sticky like cotton candy? Does a tadpole know it's going to become a frog? The questions themselves were magic. I lived in what I now call the land of I don't know. It is the sacred land of children, yes, but it is a land we'd all be best served to never outgrow. As soon as I entered my teens, I began to pride myself on knowing. I thought that to be lovable was I had to be right. I believed that having the answer meant having it all, but know-it-alls don't make great learners. To be in a state of not knowing is to be open and receptive, and to be otherwise is very often to be shut down. As I got older, my particular brand of rightness often landed me in judgment, criticism, and blame, which are quite miserable places to be in, regardless of how addictive our culture has made them. I was never really happy being right. I was rigid, stressed, critical, and vulnerable to shame, the shame I felt whenever I was wrong. And most impactful was the fact that my rightness wiped out the curiosity, wonder, and awe that was the pillar of my joy as a child. But as most of us do, I lived with an attachment to being right for years. Recently, my friend Margaret sent me an article about people who long ago believed their bodies were made of glass. Whenever I learn about something like people thinking they were made of glass, I feel certain that I am equally delusional about something in my own life, something I've gotten wildly wrong, and it excites me to think I could be wildly wrong about something that enormous. What am I getting wrong? What am I not seeing clearly? I now understand that to not know where I am going is my only true compass. Brings music education to lots of places in the world, and I'm grateful for them for letting us use that piece this morning. I have a new puppy. His name is Bert. He's awesome. And because everything in the world is new to him, he's very curious. And we're having fun introducing him to new friends and toys and treats. For many years, walking my dogs, I haven't been able to let them meet others because they weren't friendly on the leash, but Bert is eager and outgoing. His curiosity, though, is tempered with caution. He needs a little coaxing at the start of a walk, and hearing another bigger dog bark often sends him pulling to go back home. We were walking the other day, and he spotted a woman crouched down on the sidewalk pulling weeds. It seemed like he'd never seen a person in that position. I wondered if to him she was like a strange new animal, since I imagine most other humans he's experienced were either standing, walking, or sitting near him. I'd almost drag him to continue our walk and approach her. As soon as he got close enough, he realized, oh, this is a human. I like humans. And he greeted her with his typical puppy enthusiasm. For all of us, Bert included, being curious takes some amount of courage. As Bert gets to know his new family, home, and neighborhood, he has to figure out how to manage his fear of new things and let his curiosity lead him to learn and grow more adept at moving through the world. It's fun to be on this adventure with him, to watch him with each new thing he encounters override his instinctual caution and embrace the possibilities of life. Curiosity is integral to our framework as Unitarian Universalists. In fact, the word appears in both our UU values and our congregation's vision statements. Under our UU value of pluralism, adopted in 2023, we have committed to embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. And our congregation, in articulating our vision statements in 2021, included under spiritual growth and well-being the aspiration of cultivating gratitude, joy, curiosity, wonder, and an openness to personal and relational transformation. To be open to transformation, we have to let go of our certainty and our desire to be right. But what does it mean to be spiritually and relationally curious in a world where curiosity can often be discouraged or shamed? Like when a child without inhibition shows interest in learning about difference and adults shush them or discourage their questions. I certainly remember learned embarrassment and shame about my questions and doubts around the Catholicism of my childhood. And some of our oldest stories warn against the trait of curiosity. The biblical creation story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden can be interpreted as a warning against wonder. God's charge for the first humans is whatever you do, don't seek knowledge. Don't wonder about or question what has been given to you. Just enjoy it. The punishment for curiosity is removal from the perfect world of pleasure and ease into a world of uncertainty, struggle, pain, and conflict. And the phrase, curiosity killed the cat, originated in a 1598 play in which the phrase was actually, care will kill a cat. And a year later, the same concept was used in Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. What thou care killed a cat? Asked Claudio of Benedict. The word care in that adage was eventually replaced with the word curiosity, which I think is interesting. In other words, to care is to be curious, and to be curious is risky, even dangerous. But curiosity and care are worth the risk. Asking questions, wondering about others is the only way we grow. It is the only way to build authentic relationships. It's how we learn to cooperate and find our way through our greatest challenges to the most fruitful solutions. Wondering, caring, and being curious together is how we build movements, create and discover new cures. It's how we build the collective good and resist injustice. In one of my favorite shows, Ted Lasso, the title character, an American football coach who moves to London to coach European football without knowing anything about it, tells a story while playing darts with a bully of a lesson he learned as a child, to be curious rather than judgmental. He learned that those who picked on him as a kid underestimated him. They made up their minds about who he was and what he was capable of, without asking questions about him, just as the adult bully in the scene didn't wonder how he learned to throw darts or whether he was left-handed or right-handed. Turns out Ted's superpower was being curious rather than judgmental about the players on his team. He wondered what motivated them and held them back, what made them love the game. And that curiosity helped him to embrace not knowing what he was doing and led him to bring out the best in others. Being curious rather than judgmental is easier said than done. It takes courage and mindful practice like anything worth doing. Human beings are inherently judgmental. We need our judgment to function in the world. We make thousands of small and large judgments every day, mostly at a subconscious level about the people we encounter, the things we buy, and the media we consume. We're deciding who we can trust, the value of a thing, what is true, and how we need to respond to the actions that impact us. Responding to a threat, physical, mental, or emotional, means quickly assessing things and deciding how to act. Our ability to judge situations and people becomes a liability, though, when those quick assessments become entrenched determinations. Letting our initial judgments run the show without giving way to curiosity keeps us from being open to growth or making mistakes or embracing transforming possibilities. The good news is, along with our capacity to think critically and judge accurately, human beings have also evolved the ability to be distinctly curious. Our ability to override judgment and fear and follow our innate curiosity about other people and the world around us has led us to explore new territory, form alliances, and create complex societies and institutions. Curiosity has led us to better understand the farthest reaches of the universe and the microscopic inner workings of our own minds. The unfolding spirit of life calls us to follow our curiosity and wonder with care, lest we let fear and judgment block our learning, stymie our growth, and inhibit our ability to overcome our greatest challenges. We are all witnessing the rising authoritarianism in this country and the world, which is made possible by a tyranny of the mind. Authoritarians use fear and overwhelm to suppress curiosity and shut down dissent. It's why our educational institutions and sources of reliable information are being defunded and delegitimized. All of us crave certainty and clarity amidst chaos. But it's imperative that we hold on to our curiosity and practice getting comfortable with not knowing what's going to happen next. When we are afraid, which is very understandable right now, we can resist tyranny of the mind by noticing the desire to categorize and dehumanize. We can resist the urge to determine what another person or group is thinking or feeling, or to assume what's going to happen next. Toward that end, it might be helpful to consider the frameworks that keep us stuck in judgment and inhibit exploration. George Lakoff, a prominent professor of cognitive science, describes two dominant moral orders operating in our country: a strict father morality and a nurturant parent morality. I share these at the risk of oversimplifying or promoting a false dualism, but these frameworks can help us understand what might be happening when we seem to be living in alternate realities. It's important to understand that these worldviews are a continuum, with many on one side and many on the other, and many at various places along the spectrum. But the strict father morality is the view that the world is a dangerous and competitive place. Individual strength, determination, and discipline are how one overcomes adversity and succeeds. They view the nation as a meritocracy, and those who thrive do so because they have worked hard and deserve what they have. Systems of oppression have little to no impact on individuals or marginalized groups. Being strong, working hard, and taking personal responsibility for what happens to you and your family are the highest moral objectives. The nurturant parent morality, by contrast, is a view that understanding and caring for others who are vulnerable or marginalized is most important. We exist as interdependent beings in a complex world. Community care and connection are necessary for all to thrive cooperatively. This way of understanding the world encourages open questioning and self-examination, especially among children. Someone holding a nurturant parent morality believes hierarchy should be minimized and empathy and cooperation are the highest values and ideals. According to Lakoff and other cognitive psychologists, our worldviews operate mostly at the unconscious level. Human beings are largely unaware of the many ways we take in new information or the way we reshape facts to fit them into the worldview we already hold. In our highly polarized and politicized climate, our competing worldviews are at war, and those in power are supplying the ammunition. No matter who you are and what moral compass you hold, when your worldview is under attack, it can become even more entrenched, making it harder to be curious about other worldviews. So how can we practice curiosity across these deeply held differences in our worldviews as they're pitted against one another? Our values and visions as Unitarian Universalists would seem to align most closely with a nurturant parent worldview. I know it's what I feel I most align with, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other aspects of the strict father morality also present within us and within this community. Like most things, there's no absolutes or dualities, and I imagine that many of us can think of family members or friends who hold very different views. I am compelled to try to understand them better, though I haven't succeeded yet. Just being honest. The point of understanding different ways of viewing the world is not to change their minds, or ours for that matter. It's not to change our values, but to help us move from judgment to curiosity. One of the weaknesses of many of us with the more progressive nurturant parent morality is that we tend to think that if others who hold a different orientation or worldview could simply hear the same facts that we've heard, it would change their point of view. But facts can't penetrate a fixed worldview. We simply ignore or modify the facts that don't align. We all do this. And when facts are presented in a judgmental rather than a curious way, it can cause a rigid moral view to further calcify. It's too easy to draw and hold on to our judgments of those who seem to operate out of a completely different way of understanding the world. I often think judgmentally about those I fail to be curious about. How could they possibly think that? Don't they see what's happening? How could they be so ignorant? What's wrong with them? These are questions, all right, but they are not curious questions. When I ask questions like that, I'm simply confirming my deeply held worldview that those on the other side of the political divide are uncaring or ignorant. It is terribly challenging in this moment of heightened fear to keep wondering. Curiosity requires courage and vulnerability. It's far easier and reassuring to fix our judgments and decide who someone is than to lean into not knowing, even if only to wonder what experience have shaped another's worldview. Can we practice wondering about those we don't understand? What worries do they hold? How are they struggling? What do they fear and hope for? And what do they care about? Cultivating curiosity means letting go of being right or finding the answers. It's about practicing openness and developing the continuous orientation toward wonder, especially about those we do not yet understand. It's about generating the capacity to imagine what's possible, to investigate with an open heart, to resist the lure of certainty, and to remain in the struggle to be awake, aware, and present to what is. It's standing on a corner on a Thursday night and inviting conversations with those who are curious about us, which happens regularly at our Beacons of Light vigils. It's meeting our neighbors of other faiths and learning about their values. It's tutoring a child from a war-torn country and learning about their life. It's having a conversation with your brother who voted differently from you, not to change his mind, but to wonder what his worries and hopes are. Where in your life can you imagine using curiosity to overcome fear and judgment? Our faith calls us to be curious about ourselves, each other, and the world, to wield the tool of wonder with love and mutuality. It may be one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal against tyranny. It may be our superpower in the struggle to make the world more whole. Let us be like Bert, the new puppy, and keep encouraging each other in this complex and broken world to lead with curiosity, acknowledging our fears, and working to move beyond them with care, healing, and liberation. Amen, and blessed be.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by the Reverend Eileen Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 1029 in the teal hymnal, Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear. Again, Gregory's going to play through it once, and then we'll join in and sing 4 verses. May we move out into the uncertain world, embracing curiosity and wonder with care and courage, open to transformation and making the world more whole. But before we depart out to our kinship time, I invite Reverend Susan to come up and give us instructions about moving the chairs.
All right, look up. We're gonna change all the light bulbs that are out and replace all the other light bulbs with LED lights this week. So we have scaffolding coming in. So what we need help with today is all of the chairs, including the chairs in the choir loft, need to get stacked into 4 high and put against the walls. So if everybody can take at least 1 chair over to the wall, and if you're feeling strong today, take a few more, that would really, really help us out. And if you have 2 hours this week and want to come be a spotter at the bottom of the scaffold, or want to give your hand climbing up the scaffolding to change a light bulb, I have a sign-up sheet, and I'm going to leave it by Adam. So please come help us out this week. Thank you.